Hey guys, I'm playing around with trying to figure out our window deletes today. I think we already covered it in some other footage, but the current plan is to block out or delete a set of 4 right here. So this one, this one, this one, and this one. And on the other side, these 4 here, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this will be like the kids' bunk area and where our fridge is going to go. And over here is going to be primarily a closet and bathroom areas. So I picked up some 16 gauge sheet metal from one of our local stores. I have a feeling the 16 gauge may be a little bit overkill for this. I saw people going back and forth between using primarily 18 gauge and 20 gauge steel for skinning windows, and when they're doing the roof raises and stuff like that. People had concerns with rippling and stuff when using the lower gauges. I don't think it's as much of a concern when doing a window delete like we're doing here, where it's literally just filling in where the window was. But it doesn't hurt to have the thicker gauge steel. It's definitely going to be a lot stronger, and I think it may support a couple of options that I'm playing with as well. Currently, like I said, we're just going to put it in place just like the window was. I'm undecided as to whether I want to pop out these rivets right here that basically just hold this outer skin and inner skin with the hat channel, which is basically the rib of the bus right here. And it just holds these two together. Debating on whether I should pop these out, then use those existing holes to attach the blank, or just leave them in place and basically glue the whole thing in and just put some supports or something right here that would kind of sandwich it into that support there. So we'll see. I'm playing with a couple of ideas right now. I'm going to see if any of those work. I got these a little long because I'm considering the idea of at least putting a bend at the bottom right here so that we can screw the blank to this part of the bus, and everything else would be glued in place and have those blocks. Also have the option of possibly just tack welding them in place, still fully securing them with some type of sealant. But all that's kind of up in the air right now. I'm going to play with these and see how difficult it is to actually do a bend in here. I also got a little piece of angle iron that I'm going to cut in a couple of pieces to assist with a bend. I'm not going to go out and make a full break to bend the metal, but we'll see if that works for me. If I have to, I've seen others just kind of do a light score of the metal where I want to do the bend, and that'll aid in the bend. Because this is 16 gauge, like I said, it's a little bit thicker for a skin, but stronger is always better. So I'm going to play with this, see what I come up with. If there's any significant breakthroughs, I'll be sure to film it and let you guys see the progress, but right now I'm going to see how this all goes. If any of it really works, I'll be sure to film it and let you guys see the progress and path. But right now, I'm going to start playing with some metal. Also got some new tools since I'll be working with metal. I got a scratch off. This will basically just help me scribe lines on the metal whenever I need to mark things out. And an automatic center punch for when I need to drill my holes. Just creates a little divot in the metal so that when you go to drill it out, the drill bit doesn't wander on you. So fun tools. Always fun to have new tools. So, the joys of working on new projects, get to add to your tool library. So here we go. I'm going to mark these out, see where it goes. Hey guys, we're working on the window blanks in the bus today. We're taking out these back 4 windows and the 4 over here. It's going to be a bunk and part of the kitchen area. And over here is going to be bathroom and closet areas before you get to our bedroom. So we're taking out these windows, putting new sheet metal in. The method that I've found, I don't know if it's going to work, but it's the method that I chose. We're basically just taking the sheet metal, putting a bend in the bottom of it here so that I can actually screw it in place on the bottom sill. And we have polyurethane sealant that goes around the rest of the window frame. So it would be all here, here, here. All gets the polyurethane, and then it gets squished into place, screwed down, seated into place, and then I put these blocks of wood in place to secure it in place while it cured, and just to give it some extra strength. It kind of keeps it from flopping around. But as you can see, this is a test one that I did, and it's super rigid right now. And it was my first experiment with doing the polyurethane to seal it around. It didn't go too bad, but I've since got some tools to trowel this out to a better edge, hopefully make a cleaner line. So we'll see how that works. But this was my test piece. It went well, so I've continued on with this method with the rest of them. As you can see here, here's the empty window that this is going in. I took a scraper and scraped away all the butyl or sealant that was there. Take it down to the metal, and there's actually some extra sealant that's in these corners. The first one I did, I ripped it out. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it on these ones, but I might, just to make it all clean and get it down to bare metal. But cleaned all that up, cleaned this off, pulled away the foam that was up here to seal it up. I actually got some new foam to put up there to fill the gap that you get when you put the metal in place. Let's see here. The gap that gets filled by the foam, and then I put the polyurethane all around, smooth it all out, give a nice watertight edge. So this is my method for my metal. You can see I got these blanks 16 gauge sheet metal. Our local shop was nice enough to cut them to size for me. And all I have to do is put this one bend in the bottom here. I don't have a metal brake, and I decided against making one. Watched a bunch of YouTube videos on how to do it pretty cheaply, but decided that for the few that I need to make, it probably just wasn't worth it. So I've kind of made a little makeshift system for getting this edge bent. I can really only put a slight bend in it with the method that I'm using, and I just use a hammer and tap it up the rest of the way. Seems to work really well. Before I actually start my bend, I mark off my bend line and put a little score in it with the grinder. Probably about, I don't know, half the thickness of the material, maybe less than that. It just gives it a little bit of a relief so that when you do the bend, it kind of has an edge to follow and a place for the material to go. So it kind of just pinches it into place, gives you a nice square edge. But you can see this is the bend that I'm getting out of them. So not too bad. It's not perfect, but this is really just a seat for the polyurethane sealant to squish all together and seal everything up, and then a place for the screws to come down through and pull it all tight. So, no, nothing too crazy. But from here, after I score it and bend it, all I do is come up and set it in place. And of course, before I set it in place, I would run my beads, so it's all got all the sealant in there, and all squishes in place before I screw anything together. But you can see it gets a nice good edge on the bottom here. So after those screws are in place, and after I seal it up with the polyurethane, this thing will be rock solid and hopefully never leak. You can see, once again, there's that gap that I've got at the top there. I just got this, it's like 3/8 or 1/4 inch foam, I think it's 3/8, that I just squish in place. It's just like the factory stuff that was there. It's a little bit more rigid than the factory stuff, but it's the same principle. This edge, doesn't really get any driving rain or anything in it. You got a drip edge that is on the front side here that all your rain is just going to shed off of. So this is mainly only for, maybe if you have driving rains, or if it's raining while you're driving, just so that the water doesn't get shoved up in this edge. But after you seal it up with the polyurethane, nothing's ever going to get in there. So this is really just to take up the space so that they don't flop around. You can see because of that gap there, if I didn't have something there, this would push up. And I'm actually, when this one was setting in place, I had this block of wood that I wedged in there just to keep it tight in there while the polyurethane set up. And I'm actually going to probably screw this in place too, so that it's just an extra piece that's there. But I did this piece a few days ago, I think, and the polyurethane is set up enough that it's really rigid. You can see it here. It stayed tacky for a little bit. I'm using some Sikaflex. This is just construction adhesive or sealant. I was going to use, I see a lot of people use the Sikaflex 221, I think it is. Similar stuff, it's a polyurethane sealant, but it's specifically made for these types of environments, a lot of RV use and stuff. There's also the auto body seam sealers, like there's the Dynatron 550, I think is what it is. But they're all polyurethane sealants. The thing that I found was with this stuff, you can get this at Home Depot. It's actually in like the concrete section. It's not with their typical sealants, but pretty much looking at the data sheets, it's pretty similar to the other Sikaflex stuff. It does have a longer cure time, and it's not quite as strong for the final seal, but I don't really need it to be. This is really just sealing things up so that I don't get any water in. I've got mechanical fasteners that are also aiding in keeping this metal in place. As you can see, it's super rigid right now. All these blanks are rattling, but it doesn't go anywhere. Even this up here where the foam is, like I used to be able to push it in, which is why I had this block in there to hold it in place, but now it's not going anywhere. So I think I'll stick with this construction sealant. Like I said, you can get this at the home centers. This stuff was over by the concrete section. It's roughly, I think it was like $7 a tube. That was one of the other factors for me getting this. The other Sikaflex, I can't get it locally. I can get it online, and it ranged anywhere from like probably $9 to $15 or $20 a tube. Amazon had it for like $9 a tube. Pretty inexpensive for shipping too. But I've also seen issues where a lot of the material that people get is either nearing or it has expired, because these do have shelf lives. So I didn't really want to risk not knowing what I was getting. So I decided to give this a try, and it seems to have worked well, so I'll just stick with it. Plus, we've been gifted, Home Depot gift cards and stuff, so it's a little bit cheaper of a route too, instead of spending the extra money on somewhere else online. So this is what I'll be using. Like I said, I've got these 4 blanks already bent, one of them in. I just need to I got another one bent, so I got 3 more that I'll need to bend up for this other side. We have 4 blanks on both sides, and then we can rock and roll, get all this stuff in place. Like I said, some stuff that you probably didn't see on any of the recordings that we did, but all we're doing is cleaning up these sills, getting all this old material out, making sure there's nothing in the way, pulling all this stuff out, cleaning it really good with a solvent, get all that adhesive out of there so it's a nice clean surface to make the new sealant to. Then as soon as I have things bent, I also primed, you can't see it on these ones, I haven't done it yet, but the first one I just put a primer coat on it so I didn't have to worry about any of this surface rust. Some of these blanks have a little bit of surface rust on them now anyway, so I just sanded them down. Put some primer on it so that they stayed nice and clean. I'm not sure when we're going to be painting the bus, so while these sit here, until I actually paint it, until we actually get, I'm not sure when we're going to be able to paint the bus or when we are going to be painting the bus. So these are probably going to be sitting here for a little while until we do. So I wanted to make sure that they stay nice and clean. So sanded all the rust off, put the primer coat on, and they'll be good to go until we actually decide to paint. That's the other thing with the polyurethane sealant. Just like with the other Sikaflex stuff and your auto body seam sealers, because they're polyurethane and not silicone, which a lot of people tend to use, or some people tend to use for this type of thing, for sealing windows or sealing your blanks. You don't really want to use silicone because you can't paint it. All of these polyurethane sealants and adhesives, they're paintable after they're dry and cured. So, all this edge right here, when we get to painting, all this will be, same color as the rest of the bus. So it'll be a nice seamless look, which you wouldn't be able to get with silicone because nothing sticks to it. So another reason to go with the polyurethanes. Like I said, probably can't see it. Probably wasn't that clear on when I was filming before, but all I did was got some angle iron, clamp a piece on the bottom side, clamp a piece on the top side, along with a sheet of wood just as kind of a support. This isn't a very big surface, so I'm putting a lot of tension on here when I'm pulling this up to try and bend it. So if I don't have enough force pushing down on the rest of the sheet metal here, there's a good chance that it'll buckle and get a bend where I don't want it to bend. So got these, clamp them in place, give myself a light bend, and then just work the rest of the way with a hammer. So there's Nora. Nora, say hi. Hi. Alright guys, well, I get back to work and these kids are looking for things to do. So you want to help me with these?
Yeah. I'm have to help Daddy.
What do you think about us blocking out these windows?
Dad, let's help. Let me help.
Does it look good?
Yeah, let me help.
Are you gonna like not having the windows there?
I want to see myself.
Well, we'll have the other windows that we can see out of. We're gonna have all those windows, and we're even gonna put in this area. We're gonna put a window up there. What do you think about that?
Oh, how about we put the window up there?
Up there?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna put one probably right there.
No.
Or right there.
No.
Right there?
No.
Oh.
Yep, let me help.
It's gonna be in the shower so that we have all that light coming in when we're showering. Plus, it'll make the ceiling a little bit higher so Daddy doesn't bump his head.
Oh, and we have to get all our tools, a bunch of them.
We have to get what?
All our tools.
Our tools?
All our stuffies.
Oh, stuffies. Where are the stuffies going to be?
How about we get you a tiny bunk bed?
A tiny bunk bed for the stuffies?
Yeah.
In your bunk bed?
Or how about
A bunk bed in a bunk bed?
Or how about I did?
That's like some...
Or how about I bed my toy bunk bed in a bus?
Your toy one? Well, that one's kind of big, but maybe we can build something in the wall for you.
Yeah, so my babies can sleep. Oh,
Yeah.
and I'm getting my bunny can sleep with me.
Awesome. Everyone's going to be nice and cozy in the bus, huh?
Yeah. Oh, and I'm bringing all my blankets.
Oh, nice and cozy on the bus. Schoolie life forever. You like that?
Pinkie pie.
Pinkie pie. Get the other one. This one. We're going to finish this, okay? Pinky promise.
Pinkie.
Alright guys, signing off.
Yes,
Say
yo.
bye. Ready? Put your hand up like this.
Okay. Bye.
Nora, can you take this camera to Mommy, please?
Hi, Daddy.
Go on. Hi. Go on. Go take it to Mommy.
Doop, 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 doop.
Yeah, go take it to Mommy. Watch where you're going.
Okay. This is a story. Well, when it? These are windows. And this is a light. And this is a fan we are having in our story when we are sleeping, when Daddy makes it.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Alright, let's go. Mommy's calling us. Go take it
Bye.
to Mommy. No, take her. take it to mommy.
Hi, Daddy. Bye.
Go take it to mommy, and then you can sign off.
Okay.
Careful.
Nichole Duetta auto. This is our Jeep. Come in.
I taught Nora how to sign off.
You learned how to sign off today?
Boop.
Nice.
She's recording
I didn't.
All right. Say bye.
Bye.
Now sign off. Good job.
We are the kids of the summer sun. Don't wake us up until the dream is done. We are the kids of the sun. We are the gangsters of paradise.